Alright, Wasabi, Sure She's Axe, Repercussion, Gale Force, Death Blow 4, Hit and Run, On Attack, Wave, and Heavy Blade. This is really good. Try and true build. You attack 1, 2. With Death Blow 4, it's 65. Odd Attack Wave can add a bit more. And yeah, you back off. And then from there, if you get attack one more thing, Gale Force triggers. It's just Hit and Run Gale Force sometimes backfires because sometimes you attack something and you're like, I can't reach my opponent anymore because I've just backed off by a block. But with that said, if you want to back off after the battle where Gale Force triggers, Hit and Run's ideal. So, our default is just because of preferences. For general play, I would not run Hit and Run anymore. What would I run for general play? If it's to have her back people up. Wow, you have Desperation. Wings of Mercy is a really good one. She shouldn't really be fighting very often. But yeah, I guess Hit and Run is just fine. You can also try Lunge. Anyways, it's been a while since we saw Silas. Plus speed Silas is technically possible. I would not suggest it though. If you wanted a good defensive blue Lance Cav, I don't really think you have many options. So I guess Silas. Is there really no good blue Cav hero with good speed now? I really can't think of one. Death Knight? Death Knight, I think? That's all I can think about, Death Knight. His speed's not even good. Okay, I guess you don't have a lot of choices. But yeah, with all of this, you only get to 41 speed. If you're lucky enough to get into the battles, if he gets doubled by a mage, for example, or a dragon, he's dead. If he gets doubled by other physical heroes, then fine, he can get into Brazen attack speed. But to set it up, where this only works once you're into Brazen, because at 41 base, Fury Teen, yeah. You're fighting a lot of super fast heroes nowadays. I would hesitate to do this, but I do think if you get him to 10 flowers and plus 10, it works a lot better, but I wouldn't suggest this. He's a defensive hero first and foremost. I would use him like that. But you've already committed law attack speed to him, so. Or, sorry, not law attack. Attack speed push 4 on him. If you run law attack speed, is what the next point. This is what happens when you think and talk at the same time. If you commit law attack speed to him, then this starts working. Because if they can't buff for speed, then you should be fine. But yeah, if you do law attack speed push 4, then that works. But that is that's so far to go. 40 plus 10 plus 10 Kagero. 47 HP, 59 attack, 27 speed, 38 defense, 39 res. Courtly Mass is actually perfect on her. Gets her 44 attack and 44 res and 64 attack. The reason for it's easy because she's so slow that when she attacks something, they can counterattack, which means she halves the damage taken by the first shot. So she attacks, they hit half the damage, and then she attacks and gets the kill. With Bold Fighter, she's guaranteed to double, so she basically halves the damage she takes from the first battle. And with 38 defense and 44 res, he's hardly taking damage. And close counter, yeah, this is a good build. Refining this for defense, so you have like 42 defense and 44 res, and once the damage is halved, she hardly takes anything. Yeah, you can use this multiple times in the same battle, so it really makes sense. However, Courtly Mass is best used with like things like Bold Fighters and whatnot, because you're guaranteed to take a shot, and her boobs are ridiculous. Instead of speed tactic, I would run attack smoke, just because if you run attack smoke, you drop their attack and defense by 7. The entire idea I think you have here is Bold Fighter. So you run in, you attack, and now she's left in range, and then she uses close counter QR for the rest of the kills. If that's the case, attack smoke. So what I would do is attack smoke and defense are fine. Anyways, it's really good. And then yeah, I really like this Kagero.
Sophia, 40 plus 10 plus 10. 48 HP, 55 attack, 27 speed, 39 defense, 37 res. Eternal Tome, Reposition Bonfire. This is defense 4, Nullsy Disrupt, Attack Smoke 3, and QR 3. I wouldn't change anything. As much defense and res as you can from afar. So range sweeper build. Yeah, it's good. Just make sure you have QR, which you do, and it's good. But it's the only issue is if they sneak a melee hero in, and then you have troubles. But total calculations 12 and 12. So 51, 49. Yeah, hard to beat this. Resistant counter, law attack, res. Joint draw attack. That's 4 plus 3 plus 5.
12 extra attack, 73 attack, super good. 30 speed with QR. I think Tiki would get a Resplendent too. She's a really popular character. And her defense is really high too. 42, 45, 50 defense, and 44 res. Really respectable. I like this. It's a super tank Tiki. This is probably easily the best Tiki I've seen. You probably cannot do better than this Tiki nowadays. And remember guys, she stays effective against dragon foes, and she has 10 HP healing, which gets her back into QR, and typical Dragon Breath abilities. When she's hitting 73, is again 3 plus 5 plus 4. When she's hitting 73, she's targeting lower defense or res against mages, so she has a good chance of one-shotting them as well. When your attack is this high, it actually makes so much sense. This is a really solid Tiki actually. Okay, I like this Tiki a lot, actually. I actually think this might be the best way to build a Tiki. Normally, I would say attack smoke in these situations, but with Joint Drive Attack, you really have that chance to just one-shot a mage, and if you one-shot them, you're good. It saves you getting hit another time. And when the battle gets long enough, your bonfire triggers with that 47. So essentially, that is 23 extra damage. That will nuke them as well. So ideally, it's they attack, you attack, get the kill. Now you have 1 cooldown. Next thing attacks you 1 time, and you counterattack with bonfire. You just smash them. All right, I like this build. This build's real good. Try this in Ether Raid's defense, I would say, or Ether Raid's offense. This might actually sweep teams. Anyways, this is really cool. I like it. As long as you don't fight against anti-dragon heroes, this team should wipe the floor with them. Even heroes like Marth or somebody with like effective against dragon weapons, she can probably take a hit and do fine. So, when you hit him up close, this works really well. It's 12 and 12, and of course Arthur's Axe. So if you have a bonus, all stats plus 3. If you have penalty on your opponent, all stats plus 5. So if you should really run attack smoke to guarantee it works. Penalty isn't, LOL doesn't count as a penalty. You need an actual penalty. I would run attack smoke, close defense, LOL attacks. Then everything works really well. Though depending on your team, there might be something else for it. But yeah, I would just run attack smoke. That way you have guaranteed debuff, and then suddenly Arthur is just a lot harder to kill than people originally expected. His speed actually gets up to 44 in those scenarios, so he's harder to double. Yeah, in terms of like slowing down your opponent and just weighing them down, this is a great Arthur for that. Of everything, which is kind of shitty, but that's how it works. Anyways, with that said, he does have the res because you're going Fury 4 and Fury 4. So his res is 40, which means if you out-res your opponent by, 14, you get a full drop on their attack and defense by 7. But I would argue it doesn't even matter because it doesn't get its value, because at 40 res, you need your opponent to be at 26 to get the full attack defense minus 7. And even with everything you have, attack speed drain, you're not naturally doubling, so you're not getting the kill off. It's a double factor. It's a speed check into a res check. Now, your defense and res is super high thanks to attack speed drain and Fury 4, and Phantom Speed gives you enough speed to catch somebody all the way up to 51 speed. But it's still not a true double. Like, even with Pegasus Flight, even with attack speed drain, you're only at 34, so you don't double back. This is more for like, Pegasus Flight is for Pegasus flyers, because they have that mixture of speed and res where they can fully utilize it and still double. If you use Pegasus Flight and you only attack 1 time, I would say it's 9 out of 10 times, or actually no, 10 out of 10 times not worth it. There's almost just no point to it, to be honest. But yeah, so I would say, yeah, I would say his base builds are way better, and yeah, I would not do this. This is iffy. You still need a double, like you have to double to take full advantage of it.
Hey Nims POS review 4,620,759,381 thanks.
Thanks. Close call is good against Phantom. Phantom Speed is good against close call skills, right? It's true, but still, it's not gonna matter if you cause a draw at best.
Pegasus Flight is best utilized by heroes that have high speed, high res, and usually that's a Pegasus Flight. It's nice of you to try it, but yeah, you gotta make sure you double or you're not gonna get the kill. I don't think even with attack speed drain, you're gonna get fast enough. I guess with Peony, I guess with like full support, full buffs, it starts to kind of work. But as soon as you lose any of those buffs, it doesn't work at all, which is why I wouldn't suggest it. Yeah, he is saying he's gonna give him the speed boon next month, but still, it's too low. Like, it'll trigger Pegasus Flight, right? But even with the speed boon, I don't even remember if it's super boon or not. Let's say that's 33, 34, 38. Even if you get the full buff, it gets to 60, 40, 44. You're still not naturally doubling. It's still, like, really pushing it. I would use speed res solo. You need actual speed. You need actual speed in order to double. So that's what I would switch if you're dead set on this. Speed res solo. Gives you more res, gives you more speed. But you gotta understand that speed res solo does not factor into Pegasus Flight because it's at start of combat. Yeah, all this is at start of combat. Wait, during combat equals 50% difference between res stats. Before combat. Yeah, so speed res solo doesn't work here. But it does give you actual speed, so you can actually double. So yeah, if you want the full benefits of Pegasus Flight, make sure to double. This is what I was talking about. Okay, no, this is not necessary. Do not bother with Phantom Res. It's good. Phantom Res is good for Pegasus Flight technically, but I'll just be honest, you rather have real res in most situations. Once you hit 45 res, you're not really worried about it, but I'll go over it. Lord Protector Sigrun, as I was talking about earlier with the Pegasus Flight usage, you guys really want to build towards a hero that has high speed, high res, and ideally low attack and low defense, because that's where Pegasus Flight helps the most, your attack and defense. Actually, that's all it does. It's your attack and defense. So generally speaking, this is how you want to pull things off. Oh my god, Chandler, you just took away my buff. I don't even know anymore. Okay, anyways. So, my entire point I'm trying to make right now is Chandler's dumb. But aside from that point, this is one of the ideal heroes. I've always mentioned Sigrun as one of the ideal heroes here. She has much newer BST than say Sheeta or what's her name again? Claire. Both of those heroes are really ideal for this as well. But unfortunately, they don't have the BST that Sigrun has. And while technically they are in a really good position to get, well, Sheeta is anyways, to get a Resplendent and then therefore get the extra stats to really catch up, they don't have it yet. The safest pick thus far is Sigrun. Because if you guys didn't know, they get the same amount of flowers. So Sigrun always has that inherent BST advantage, lest we get a Resplendent. Anyways, that said, 40 plus 10 plus 10, 49 HP, 56 attack, 50 speed, 38 defense, and 45 res. With the mangoes, you might want to go plus res or plus speed or even plus attack. They're all good, but plus speed might be a bit overkill because you're doing attack speed, right? So it's between attack and res, I would say, for you. Anyways.
Grandmaman on the legendary banner Nim Hey.
I know he is. That's why I'm like looking forward to it. But I don't know how many orbs I can spare for it. If only we had more orbs. Alright, but with Flowing Lance, as long as you're alone, you get attack defense -5 on foe and neutralize foes bonuses to attack and defense, aka that is a LOL attack defense. This is actually probably the best Sigrun I've ever seen. And then, so in that kind of scenario, you have Pegasus Flight and LOL attack defense. Your defense is actually going from 38 to 43, and with Pegasus Flight, if it fully activates, it gets to 50. That is gorgeous. You have so much attack and defense. Wow. Wow. That's actually so good.
If only I had but one more orb, so sad.
Says Granny. One more orb for what? Okay. But I will say, Phantom Res, man, it does work here. Because that gets you 55 res, which should give you the full cut up
It's
blowout.
our 3/4 year anniversary. What did you get me?
For Jesus, please. I haven't gotten you anything, man. But I appreciate it. You technically got me something yesterday. Because of, you know, Crystal Chronicles. But thank you. I wasn't aware I was supposed to get you something. You have my internal thanks. How about that? Actually, thanks are cheap, but thank you, man. Anyways, ideally in the future when we get another solo seal, like attack defense solo, that's probably something you want to put on instead. That's what I would do in the future. But for now, I think Phantom Res makes sense.